Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a video that has kind of been requested, but I also kind of changed it to fit what I thought would be best, if that makes sense. And I have had a lot of people ask for like a tour through my professional kit. And I get it. I love watching those videos. I love seeing how other artists store their products, what they choose to keep in their kit, what shades they choose to keep. I love all of that. But what I thought would be most helpful to my viewers would be to actually go through and pick out the products that I have repurchased the most. I have been in the industry for 9 years now. I am predominantly bridal, so these are going to be more geared toward that part of the makeup artist industry. But there are just some products, a list of them, that when I was going through my kit stood out as being ones that I always have had, almost always. And if I haven't always had them, since I have had them, I have repurchased them multiple times. So when I run out of them, I'm not looking for the next best thing of what I can replace it with. I don't even think about that. I just go in and repurchase that same product because it works so well. Now, the reason I thought this would be helpful is because all of these products work so well and are repurchased so much by me because they work on everybody. Now, obviously, I have two foundations. Honestly, I'm going to pick one of these foundations for one type of skin type and the other for another. But as a whole, I really just feel like these are going to work for y'all if you're interested in trying them out yourself if you haven't already. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to do a little cutaway to what my kit looks like. And to be fair, over the 9 years, I have changed it countless times. I have tried to condense it. I have then made it bigger. I have then made it even smaller than when I first condensed it. It just fluctuates. And I honestly would love to be able to get to just one of these packs, one of these carriers, but I just don't know if it'll ever happen because I am a self-proclaimed overpacker in most areas of my life, and my motto is better safe than sorry. So I would like to be covered on every single base possible. So I'm probably going to stick with these two carriers. I would love to be able to get to just one, but realistically, I just don't know that it's going to happen. So let's go ahead and start out with my list of things that I have repurchased the most. And I'm going to start with foundations. And these two are most definitely my most used. Now, this one is repackaged. I'll talk about that one first. It's actually the NARS Soft Matte Complete. Is it Soft Matte Complete? Yeah, Soft Matte Complete Foundation. And I have about 5 shades of this in my kit, and I honestly go through them so fast because I use them on so many people. And the reason is it is very easily manipulated. Yes, it is a matte foundation, but I can easily add a more luminous foundation. I can add a moisturizer. I can add illuminating skin drops. I can add whatever I want to make it not as matte and maybe more appropriate for a not as oily skin type, but it is quite honestly the most bulletproof foundation that I have ever used in my experience. There is a little bit of a learning curve because when I say you need the smallest amount of this foundation, you need the smallest amount. A tiny, tiny bit goes a very, very long way. And there is a very real possibility that if you have tried this foundation and you have used too much of it, you are going to hate it. So again, it's not one that's like mass appealing from the very first use because you just don't need a lot. But because you just don't need a lot, it goes a long way, but that shows even more about how much I love it if I have repurchased it and how much I use it. So definitely NARS Soft Matte. And again, this is one that I choose for my more normal to combo to oily, but that is not to say that I have not used it on dry skin clients and it has not worked great. I just have to prep, prime, and manipulate it accordingly. If you have visible dry spots, I will not use this. I will use the next foundation, which is the Face Atelier Ultra Foundation Pro. And the only reason this is called Pro is because it comes in these smaller plastic bottles that are more appropriate for a professional kit. Now, this is my longest used foundation in my kit, period. I used this in school. Now, the kit that they provided in school actually had RCMA, which I love, and I was trained on that and airbrush, but I used this for my finals where we had models come in and had an actual photo shoot, and I loved it so much that I went and purchased all of the samples that I had gotten and the colors that I felt would best suit me. This is such a beautiful foundation. It is not as full coverage as the NARS. It is not as matte. It has a primer built into it, so I do not use a primer when I use this. I feel like it doesn't work as well because it's just not needed. So if you've tried this before and maybe you used a primer and didn't like it, I would suggest using it without a primer to see how you do like it. It's a beautiful finish. It is a little bit more luminous, but it is not dewy in my opinion. And also something that is easily manipulated. I really like mixing these two. I find that it makes a beautiful finish. This photographs wonderfully. It is something that holds up well on dry to normal skin. But if you have oily skin, I would not recommend this. So that is why I like to have a combination of a few different foundations. These are not the only two that I have in my kit, but they are the ones that I have definitely repurchased the most. And I cannot even tell you how many bottles of this over the last 9 years that I have gone through. It's just so good. Never, ever, ever fails me. And I skipped Skin Prep, which I should have gone in order, but I have two products in Skin Prep that I have repurchased multiple times, and they are ones that I often mix together. My favorite moisturizer to use in my kit is actually the Neogenesis Light Moisturizer. And this is empty. I just put it in my empties, and I believe it's the third bottle that I have gone through my kit. So I will be repurchasing another one. And I know that like 4 bottles doesn't sound like a lot, but I am someone who is constantly trying new moisturizers for Skin Prep. So I have tried countless ones over the years. To go back and keep repurchasing something upwards of 4 bottles says a lot. This is something that I can use on any skin type. It is not too heavy to use on oily skin, but it is good enough for dry skin. Now, in the case where I have super dry skin, I may add in the next product that I'm going to talk about, but this is really the type of moisturizer, in my opinion, where you don't need another moisturizer in your kit. Do I have another one? Yeah, because like I said, I'm an overpacker, but I don't need one. And if push comes to shove, this would be the only one that I would carry. Now, the next product that I very often mix in with that, but also mix in with other things, is MAC Strobe Cream. Another one that I have used for 9 years plus. I absolutely love this product. I have it depotted into a smaller plastic container, but this is the original packaging. When I first started using it, the only color they had wasn't even called a color because it was the only option, but it is the Pink Light, which is available now. I think there's 3 shades in this. Pink Light is the original. So that's the one I have continued to get. And it is just fabulous. If I want to just use this as a moisturizer, I most definitely can. It's great for priming. It's great over a moisturizer. It's great mixed in with a moisturizer for just a little bit more luminosity. I don't even know if it's going to come across on camera, but this is not a sparkly, shimmery product. It truly just gives such a pretty strobe effect, hence the name, to the skin. So this has, see, that luminosity, and that one doesn't. So you can see the difference. I will mix it in with foundations. It's really pretty mixed in with the NARS foundation to cut the coverage a little bit, cut the matte a little bit. It's just beautiful. It works so many different ways. I love it on the chest and décolleté if they want a little bit of sheen without going too overboard. I can't even tell you how many bottles of this I have gone through, but it is something that I can honestly say in 9 years has never not been in my kit. Love it so much. Wonder how many times I'm going to say love it so much. Okay, let's talk about some face products. I have 3 face products. All of them are powder products. One of them I should have included in my foundation, so I'll talk about that right now. And it is the Jane Iredale Purepressed foundation. I have it in this large Makeup Forever kit with some MAC Studio Fix foundations in the bottom, which I also love. But these are the Jane Iredale ones. I've repurchased these the most specifically Golden Glow. I feel like it's the most used for my clientele. It works on the most range of skin tones for my clients. and I just absolutely love it. I'm not going to wax poetic about this. If you want to know more about this foundation, please just search my channel. I've talked about it for years. I feel like it's getting more recognition lately because a couple of bigger YouTubers have started talking about it, but I promise you, I've been talking about this for years. So it's so, so good. Definitely repurchased. And then 2 other powder products. This one I'll talk about. This is a bronzer. And again, I think I've gone through 5 of these, which says a lot because I really do like to keep a variety of bronzers in my kit. I like to have some matte ones. I like to have some ones with a little bit of sheen. And obviously I need to have different shades of bronzer depending on whatever client sits in my seat. This is actually another Makeup Forever palette that I have depotted some things into. But the one I'm going to talk about is the original Hoola bronzer right here. These are actually all 4 of the Hoola bronzer shades. I love them all. I think it's great if you have the ability to have all 4 shades in your kit. I think it's a great thing to do so that you know you are covered for skin tones. They are fabulous eyeshadows. Really, really good eyeshadows. But this original shade right here, just the original Hoola, has never, ever done me wrong. It is, again, a beautiful eyeshadow. I use it a lot on the eyes, but it is just so pretty on the skin. It is not too warm. It is not too cool. Some people contour with it. I'm not a huge contour person anyways. I really just use this for bronzer, but the shade does lean itself more to a contour than it does a very warm bronzer. I can mix it with any of the other shades. So if I do want a little bit more warmth to it, I'll mix it with the caramel that's right next to it. But honestly, this is the one that I repurchased the most. This is actually a brand new one that I just put in, and it's just fabulous. It is a well-rounded bronzer for any age. It is not too matte to where it's not gonna look good or it's not going to look skin-like. It's just really, really pretty. And again, very, very pretty on the eyes. So a multi-use product, as are all face products in my opinion, but definitely one to look into. If you're looking for a new bronzer, don't discount the Hoola ones. I know they're older. I know they're not talked about as much as they once were on social media, but they're no less amazing. So definitely the most repurchased bronzer, hands down, but one of the most repurchased products. And then the last powder product is the Fenty, again, this is depotted, but it is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Setting Powder. And this is the regular size. This is in the shade Butter. And this is such a beautiful, 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 beautiful setting powder. I use it on almost everybody under the eyes. I don't think it's too much. It's a little bit more mattifying. So if I have an oily client, I might use a powder puff to press this in their T-zone while trying to keep their cheeks a little bit more glowy. Or if I want someone who wants an all matte look, because that's not unheard of. There's a lot of clients that are like, I don't want to glow at all. I don't like the highlighted look. I want to be matte. This is the powder that I am going to go for. It's just flawless. It really is. And this is the second one I have gone through. And again, it doesn't sound much for a powder, but I don't know that I have another powder in my kit that I've repurchased more than once. Maybe a couple of MAC mineralized powders, but that is more of like a skin-like, more luminous type of powder. And I don't use that under the eyes. This is one that I use under the eyes and on the face. And so I get use out of it on every single client. Really, really good. They have additional shades as well, but if you haven't tried that out, it is worth trying. Now, I have a couple of lip products, one eyeliner, one eye product in general. I don't know. I have so many different palettes that I rotate through my kit and eyeshadows that I rotate through my kit that I don't know if I've ever really repurchased. I did repurchase the Viseart Neutral Mattes palette because my first one was just, it needed repurchasing. Let's just say that. But as far as like single shadows or anything like that, I haven't repurchased anything as much as I have this. This is the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal Liner in the shade Cocoa. So this is it right here. This is my third one, which again doesn't sound like a lot, but for a liner, when I have so many options in my kit, I have brown, I have black, I have gray, I have taupe, I have colored liners. It doesn't matter. I go through this one the most. This is so incredibly pigmented, but the reason I love it is because A, I love the color. It is a very deep brown. It is very, very, very smooth. You can see how easily I swatched that and how deep brown that is. Oh, it's so pretty. I am not, is somebody here? I don't know. I am not a huge fan of black eyeliner on most people. I just like a deep brown like this one. So I love the shade of it. I love the texture of it. I love the smoothness of it. But I also love that you have some playtime with this, because more often than not, I will smoke out a liner with an eyeshadow. I like that kind of hazy, smoky look versus something stark and overly crisp. Now, if the client asks for that, of course, I'm gonna give that to them, but I personally like the very smoky, hazy look of smoking out a liner with an eyeshadow. This is a liner that makes that very easy to do because you do have some of that playtime. However, it doesn't move. Once it's set, it does not move. So it's not so blendable and smooth that it's going to transfer onto your lid or anything like that. It's so good. Why don't I have more colors in this? I don't know. But this one in Cocoa, I have repurchased. Again, this is my third one, and I will continue to do so. I don't feel like because it's soft, it maybe runs out any faster than any other liner. It's just that I use this on 85% of my clients. And then the final few things that I'm going to talk about are lip products. And two of them are just hands down my most used lipsticks, and they're both from MAC. And these obviously lend towards bridal, which makes sense since that's what I work in. And I have them both in this little view set. I think view set palette. I have it all labeled on the back. But the two that I go through the most are both pinky nude shades. Now, that's just because that's the majority of what my clients ask for. And they are Blankety, which is right here, and Faux, F-O-U-X, right here. I can't tell you how many I have gone through of both. They're very, very pretty. Again, I really like Blankety manipulated with certain lip liners. Like if I want it to be darker, I can definitely use a lip liner to darken it up or make it a little less pink. Faux is just the one that's asked for the most by all of my brides. If they want a pink lip and I show them this palette, I usually open it up and say, okay, if you were at a counter, which one would you go, which one would your eye go towards first? And almost always they choose Faux if they're wanting a pink lip. So these are just the most repurchased, no questions asked lipsticks, which used to be, I mean, it's still a great thing, but if y'all are an artist and you're not aware, Back to MAC, even if you're a consumer, Back to MAC is going away in March, the end of March, which I'm so upset about because I have gotten so many free lipsticks from them over the past so many umpteen years, even when I just used it for myself and not my kit, but they're doing away with it. The last product is, again, a lip product, and it is a drugstore lip product. And I am not one that says I will never have a drugstore product in my kit. That is just ridiculous. There are some amazing drugstore products that are going to work on people of all ages, of all skin tones, and if they work, they work. This one works, and it is the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. This has hyaluronic acid added to it, and this is the shade 002 Ice. And this is probably my third or fourth one that I have purchased. And it is just my favorite clear gloss. It is called Ice, and it's because it really is truly just clear. Like, why am I swatching it? There you go. You can see it's clear. But it's just my favorite. It does give a little bit of a lifted effect. It's not uncomfortable. It's not like super plumping, nothing like that. I'm not saying I don't have some colored glosses in my kit. I think maybe I have like two, but I rarely use them. If someone wants a glossy look, then I'm going to use whatever lipstick color they want, and I'm going to add a gloss on top. And this is my gloss of choice because it is not too sticky. It doesn't disappear within 5 minutes. It's moisturizing. And it's clear, so it doesn't affect the color of whatever lipstick I choose to put underneath. Maybelline Lifter Gloss in the shade Ice. They do have multiple shades. I can't say I've tried any of the other ones, but the Ice is great. So that is it. That is the list of my most repurchased products from my professional kit. If you have any questions, let me know. As always, I will have everything listed and linked in the description box. Thank y'all so much for watching. Be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.